Hey guys, welcome to the Outdoors channel. Today's going to be a fun, exciting day. Trying to go ahead and get started on this cabin build, and I'm going to explain the whole process how I'm doing this. Originally, this was supposed to be called the portable cabin, and what I mean by that is kind of how like the floor joist sections are made. It was supposed to be made in pieces, able to be reconstructed on site. I've kind of switched plans up, kind of left some in the same. So let me kind of walk you through everything, kind of show you. I've got my sawhorses set up. We're getting ready to build, I guess, portable joist, portable floor joist, I guess we'd call this. A lot of this is going to be reclaimed material throughout the cabin because it kind of goes behind a lot of what I've said before of repurpose, recycle, and reuse. And reuse definitely has a lot of purpose in materials from just going to the landfill, and plus when you reuse a lot of stuff, you're going to find a lot of stuff free. And this will definitely be an advantage to the Off-Grid Education Center, and this is the reason why I'm building this cabin, because getting off the grid or just having like as I'm doing kind of a hunting cabin, etc., you don't have to pay a lot of money. You can be more self-sufficient, and you definitely don't have to put up the government's crap of dealing with high taxes and everything else that comes along with dealing with the governments. So here's what we're going to do. Let me walk you over there. Let me show you some of the materials I got and how we're going to start the build. All right, guys, this is kind of the messy front yard I have right now. And what you're looking at, this vast majority of what looks like junk is all reclaimed material. I've got crates sitting here. I've got a lot of loose boards. I've got loose boards there. I've got numerous crates all over the place. And yeah, this is kind of looking like an eyesore. So I definitely need to get this project started so we can try to clean up the front yard. I definitely wasn't able to even mow right here because I had crates sitting here. And let me give you a little history on all this. Now, all this is free recycled materials. It's all going to get repurposed. And what these crates were was there's a company in my area that specializes in nothing but like office building style windows, high-rise windows. And when they got a huge shipment in, they'll place an ad on Craigslist, like, hey, please come and get it, take it. And I was like, I was probably the only one to ever hit them up. Because when I seen this, I came up with the idea. It was going to be originally, like I said, called the portable cabin. And what my idea was, take these are part of the original crates. I hadn't done nothing to these. Those are 2x8s, and they're approximately 4 foot wide, 7 foot long, 2x8 squares. So I kind of came up with the idea to not fully disassemble this. And let me see, I can kind of show you here. And if you notice, just like this crate, you have a bunch of reinforcing boards, and you have like these, like you see right here is a 2x4. There's going to be a 2x8 and a 2x8 down here. And the way they stagger these is, let's say on this side, right there on that corner, it'll start with a 2x8, a 2x8, and a 2x4 at the bottom. And they do that all the way around. They stagger them so that way it holds its, what are we going to say, use the word, it's going to really hold its strength. So all I do is disassemble these down. I do a little swapping around on the boards, and what I end up with is approximately a 4 foot wide, 7 foot long square. That's 2x8. Now I am going to do something to try to help preserve these, because these are only going to be heat treated. They're not pressure treated like I would have liked, but for reclaimed materials that we're going to repurpose, I have to do what I have to do. Kind of helps the project get along. I've got this crate down here. I need to disassemble and reuse the 2 squares out of it, which are going to be close enough, kind of measure up to what I've got over there. I've got 2 2x8 squares here that I need to get loose, and a lot of these are going to just come apart, and I'm going to use the boards for what I'm going to be doing. I have these 2 crates right here. These are going to possibly become the framework for the front porch. And way over there next to my little pop-up camper, there's 2 full crates over there. I'm going to leave those alone. That'll be a separate video. That is going to become a generator box, so we can have a generator for odds and ends use at Off-Grid Education Center. So without further ado, I guess what I'm going to need to do is go ahead and move some of this wood. Whatever 2x8s are in here, I'm going to kind of keep to the side. I'm going to use them in case I do need to build probably, I think, 3 more boxes. So I'll use those for the boxes, and what I'm going to do, we'll use this for instance. Let's say this was a 2x8. The joists that run in the center of it, we're just going to use the 2x6s because I have plenty of them. So I guess without further ado, let me get some of this wood moved, and we're going to go ahead and start moving stuff on the sawhorses start trying to go ahead and get all this stuff done. So far we got the first square out. We need 9 of these squares. Now this square measures 47 inches, I believe. It's just about 4 foot. No, actually, I'm sorry. It's 48. It's a hair under 4 foot. But what we got is we got the first square up here. I'm gonna flip you around. You kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about, and I can walk you through all the steps that I'm doing. So we got the first square set out. See if I can do this one-handed. From end to end, actually this is, as you can see, we are gonna be 48 and an eighth on the width. Total length is like it's a hair under 7. Oh no, it's a hair over 7 foot. So we're gonna have 12 of these squares. It's gonna go 4. Then we're going to take another set of 4, come across this way, and another set of 4, and that basically creates our the whole joist section. The main boxes are going to be 2x8, and what I'm doing, since I have a bunch of 2x6s, we're going to lay the 2x6s in, going straight across. I'll have 2 to 3 screws per board. Only thing I have to do now is I have to cut all these down to, let me see, where's my measurement? 45. My assistant's telling me 45. Yep, we're going to go with that. He's absolutely right. So we're going to just reuse whatever I can find. The whole purpose of this is repurpose. We shouldn't have no reason on not having this as complete. So we're going to go ahead, cut this down, and start from there. Alright, got my 4 joists cut to 45 inches. Now what I'm going to do is I went ahead and pre-marked it on both sides. My assistant is going to help me. We're just going to go ahead and just insert them in. Just something quick, simple, and easy. We'll go ahead and probably put 1 screw per side or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go along. And what I'm going to do is let me go ahead and get all 4 of these joists in. We'll go ahead and get this box complete, and I'll bring it all back. There's no point in just watching me screw a couple of screws into the joist. Well, this is it. I've got 2 screws per joist because the way it is, the way the boxes are going to be set, you're going to say put 2 of them next to each other, where you're going to have a cinder block under here that will support the weight from this box to the next box with them carriage bolted together. And it'll be the same, the very end will just have 1 block going sideways, so it transfers all the weight from the 2x8 straight to the cinder block. And all these joists, and you can kind of see the gap at the bottom, these joists are really just fillers to help support the plywood or whatever I'm going to put on top. So this is basically what the joist system looks like. Everything is 16 inches on center except down here, which from the center point right here at this line, you can see it right there. If I'd have measured 16 inches, it lands at like right about here, and there's no point in having just a little section right there. So I figure I'm going to make this work. Now we got 1 completed. I'm going to clear off the ATV hauler. First box goes on there, and we're going to continue on from there. We need 12 of these total, and we will have an entire floor joist system ready to be carried portable into the woods. Alright, kind of seeing quick little frame shot of us throwing in the, all the little beams. Only issue I had, you seen I got stopped here, and that's is because, see if you can kind of get a good idea. That is the bit, and here is the head. You see the little star patterns in number 20. And unfortunately, these screws are reusable. They were used from the homemade camper, and you see how nice and big that screw is. Unfortunately, these are great. These are they're some kind of decking screw. I paid out of the behind for them. There were $35, $40, I believe, in that neighborhood, close to 40 for a box of these. They use a specialized bit, but unfortunately the bits don't last. I can probably do 2, maybe 3 of these squares, and I have to change bits because it usually rounds them out using an impact driver. But that makes, this is box number 5. We need to go all the way to 12, and if we have enough time, possibly go ahead and get the porch boxes done. I'd like to get this done because not only am I using this wood at a good rate, helps get it out of the yard. You can see just scraps right there, it's all trash. Reclaimed, so far I have nothing in this initial investment. Now these screws were bought at one time, but since they're being repurposed, I'm just recalling this complete freebie job of getting this joist system together. All right, so we've gotten 7 boxes done, took us about 2 hours roughly, and mostly I'm going through the piles. Like these boards down here are shorter than 45 inches, but these are definitely longer. But what I'm trying to do is save these 2x6 by whatever they are for those large crates, because like I said, once I get those cleaned up and processed, I should have enough to do a 16-foot wide porch, and probably it's going to be about 5 foot out, 16 foot wide. But we're still working on the boxes for the truss setup, or the floor joist, I mean, pardon me. So like this is another case. What we have here, this is 9 1/4 inches, which I'm having some come up 9 1/2, 9 3/4. So different widths. So I'm trying to find what I need without having to rip any down. And this is what I'm trying to show you is kind of typical what I'm working with. You notice I have these extra pieces of wood here. I have these, and these actually come off pretty quite easy. There's not that many nails going across there, a little pry bar. Now, like some of these, you get somebody that went ape shit with a air nailer. Those can be quite the task. Like, let me give you an example. You see that right there? That is somebody that just wasting company's money with nails. And I do have a lot of the nails I've pulled out so I could reuse them later on. But this one's got to go up on the sawhorses. Just I had another one of these boxes. We had to do the same. Had to cut about 6 inches out of the length and make some new end pieces. This is like 44 inches end to end. It needs to be 48 total width with 45 inch pieces that goes on the inside. So this is just kind of showing typical of having to repurpose the wood, which is not that big of a deal. I just have to come in, clean these nails up. We got some here that need to be cleaned up. All this wood, this, etc. Take it out, clean up this backing on there, and it'll be another crate out of my yard and hopefully be completely repurposed. So I'm going to go back to the sawhorses. I'm not going to exactly show all the cutting because it's just literally boring. I'm just going to drop a line, figure out the total length, cut it, do the same on the opposite end. I'll have a new end piece. We'll nail that in, then I'll go back and do the same on the other one. I'll turn around, take that piece out, and put the appropriate width in. Then I'll have the completed box to match the rest. Drop some floor joists in here, drop 4 of them, 16 inches on center, down to the stack. So once this particular one is done, I'll need 4 more of these, and we got the entire flooring section done. And before my buddy has to go home, I hope to process these and go ahead and get these done so I can have the porch done as well, so everything gets carried out to the Off-Grid Education Center. Everything will get out there. We can literally install the entire floor section completely at one time. The cabin floor, everything will be bolted, so will the floor for the porch, and we'll hopefully get this thing to be called done. Well, I'm on to building. I'll see you on the next clip. Well, long day. We ended up getting 2, 4, 6, 8. We got 8 of the 12 done, so we need 4 more. I've got 2 right here in this crate, and I'm probably going to have to buy a couple of the 2x8s, 2x10s. The hell, I gotta measure them, honestly. I'm so dog out tired. It's been a long day. We spent several good hours, probably, let's say 5.5 hours out here in the Florida heat. But we managed to get them almost a good, let's say 75, 80% done. We don't have much more to go as far as the cabin's floor. Next step is I'm going to take this apart. I've already got a little trash pile at the road to cut scraps, and inside here from when I was processing some of the other boards. This is all scrap, so I need to get this out of here. and get these crates gone, get all the materials broke down so I can get my grass cut and put back the way I normally do it. For today, this is the last clip of today's videos, but there's definitely going to be more on this video. Stay tuned. We got a lot more going on. It just wasn't worth it showing y'all every little bit, but 2 more in the front, 2 more in the rear will strap the whole load down. I've got my buddy's trailer here. We'll get the floor joist set up ready for the porch, and we'll go ahead and haul that out. And I'm going to definitely leave the generator box for a whole nother video series in this off-grid education center. So we're going to need a generator in there to make it quiet. Just build it a nice little quiet box. Guys, stay tuned. We're going to keep filming on and keep on building. All right, guys. You see me set up with my little cart. I've got some 2x6 by 24s, and what they ended up, where they originally placed on this crate, you see the discoloration down there, and what it was like, it was kind of like straps. They held the different boxes together, but it's a cool design. You got here in the front 2x4, 2x8, 2x8, and it's the same thing on the back, but on the sides they alternate. It starts at the top with a 2x8, 2x8, 2x4, and the way they did it, I mean, it's superb. It actually holds these crates together pretty well. Across the bottom, 2x6s. There's 3 of them that go the length of the box. Then 2x6 lengthwise at each end. Now, normally I keep every piece of wood because they're all reclaimable, reusable. But for these little short pieces, they're just becoming annoying at this point because I have so many of them. I have to get rid of some, so I'm going to put that out for the trash. But for these are definitely long enough. It's not going to be but 5. There's 10 nails in each 2x6. The center one's got 15. You can kind of notice how they do it. 1 at each corner, 1 in the center, and that's how it connects. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and move this wood. I haven't processed these 2x6s, but I'm keeping the longest ones so I can put the joists in those crates once I get them taken apart, and that's going to be the floor for the porch. It's exciting coming together. I guess I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'll do it off camera. I'm just going to grab the pry bar, pop the rest of this loose, and what I'm going to end up doing is I'll bring it all aboard. I got to tip the crate on one side, and normally I swap the pieces around to match. So I'll take the 2x4 off, I'll move the 2x8 forward to make one box, do the same. But unlike before, I built the 2x4 frames just to take them back apart, so we're not going to bother with the 2x4s. I'm going after the goal of the 2x8s. Let me get started with that, and I'll bring you all back aboard. Well, this is the crate mostly broken down. Went ahead and re-nailed this one. Just got to do that back corner. Just tap them in tighter. I like using my little baby sledge to make sure everything is nice and tight. Then I usually come back with screws when I add in the center pieces. Got the bottom one. You can see what I was talking about, the offset. How the 2x4 would sit there and it would leave the same 3.5 inch gap to the bottom, so it would tie into the next one. Just got to pull this free, pop the nails out, line it up, nail it back, and these 2 boxes will be done. What I'll do is go ahead and I'm just going to stick them here off to the side. I've got another crate on the bottom. I have to measure it, see if I make sure it's the right length, wood, everything. I need 2 more boxes after these, and we'll have the entire floor built in sections and be bolted together at this campsite at Off-Grid Education Center. So I'm loving this. So the cabin's coming together. As soon as we're done with these, I'm definitely ready to start these 2 crates. That's the porch. I'm going to go ahead and fabricate the entire porch here, so whenever I haul this trailer out with the Jeep, it'll be all complete. I think also, just thinking out loud, that top crate, that's going to become a battery box. So as soon as we're done with the floor, everything's done, I'll go ahead and build my battery box for all the batteries for the solar setup. Then we'll work on this project. These are all going to be separate videos. That's going to be the generator quiet box, and you can kind of see I've got a wood stove. I actually bought 2. Paid $200 for 2. This is the larger one. On my way back from down south, it was like a 2-hour ride for me. I put the pictures on Facebook showing what I had acquired and how cheap for Florida. One of my buddies made me an offer. He's like, $100 for one. I was like, you get the smaller one. He agreed, so I kept the larger one. I'm definitely kind of ready to restore that, give it a little shine. Alright, I guess we're going to be on to the next clips, finishing this floor up, getting the other crate taken apart for its parts, and hopefully it's the right size. If it's the right size, we'll be on to finishing the cabin floor and the porch floor, or framing, should I say, I'm sorry. Alright, this is the last clip going to be thrown in this video. It's a little overdue. This has actually been close to like a month and a half, 2 months. I've been working on this slowly. We've got all the boxes here for the cabin. These are the last two. So far I've built this entire thing, the entire cabin floor, minus the subfloor that goes on top. So far it only cost me around $63. And that what is asked for is 6 sticks of this 2x10. That's the only thing I had to end up buying. I didn't have enough crates that were the exact same length. Width wasn't an issue. I've had plenty of those boards, and I've whittled this pile down this time that I'm actually getting ready to clean a lot of this out. A lot of this eave drip, whatever you call it. A lot of this is going on the trailer to be moved out of here to the Off-Grid Education Center. A lot of this other wood, I have plans for it, so it's going to be stacked nice and neat off to the side, covered with a tarp. It's time to get all this cleaned out. I've already left this a mess long enough. So we got the entire cabin floor structure done here against the house, which I need to hurry up and get this out of here. My wife's about to have a hissy fit. This is going to be for the porch that goes in the front of the cabin. We got all that framing done. Everything is so far ready to go. And thank God, today is Thursday, the 28th, I believe, and I believe it's the Monday coming up. I don't know what day it is. It's going to be October, like, 2nd, I believe. That Monday, I've already got a little crew assembled. We are going to be dragging this out of here. This will be all out of here. So all this and numerous other things. This is definitely going to the project. We're going to start assembling. If you look at my other channel, Masses32210, I'm actually making a custom little hitch to go on the back of my riding mower to be able to tote trailers in and out. I have a small boat trailer. It was actually kind of flat, so yeah, I just threw some wood on it years ago. Excuse me. And that's going to be used to drag a lot of these boxes in. We'll have one of my buddies tote this. I'll tote the mower on the other trailer. And once we get to the property, we're going to be swapping off the motor. The lawnmower comes off the other trailer, and I hook to it, and the other trailer will stay at the property. And before anybody even comments why this tire's flat, I did that on purpose. None of my vehicles back here or trailers have the little Schrader valve in them because of some thieves in this nasty city I live in. Hopefully not for much longer. My ATVs were stolen to keep anything else from getting stolen while it's here. I've flattened all the tires and chained everything down. That's just that. It is what it is. I'll be out of here soon. If nothing else, I'm abandoning this house, and I myself will be moving to the Off-Grid Education Center, and I will have a cabin to live in. But this is Masses Outdoors signing out. I hope y'all have enjoyed this. Stay tuned. We're going to actually be having an assembly video and moving all the stuff video into the woods, getting all the stuff set up by the creek, and hopefully on the next video you'll be seeing a lot of this stuff being assembled, and we'll have an entire joist section floor put in and set up, and it's an exciting time. Thank you so much. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and please share my videos. Trying to get this second channel of mine out. Thumbs up as always. Thank you guys for watching.